Hello, my name's Harold. What we're going to do today is we're going to make a wooden box for my rotary table, and I'm going to try to make it out of all the junk I've got laying around here, except for I had to buy a piano hinge and a hasp and a little box of screws, to use. But other than that, I'm going to use everything I've got laying around here to make it. And we're going to take the table saw outside in you know in fresh air so that I don't get sawdust all over the garage. I don't have one of those big vacuum systems or anything. Anyway, uh, the other day I was taking the wife over to Pasadena for some reason. I'm not sure what. And we were driving my little Scion, which has got 8 little square blocks on the gas gauge. Now I was down to the last one and it was blinking. And we went over the free part of Beltway 8 and got down on the feeder there, so I'd have to pay the toll. And we're driving along there. I told her, I said that thing was blinking yesterday. I think we probably ought to get some gas pretty shortly. And she says, well, pull into that Valero up there and get some gas. And I said, no. I said I can get it for $1.95 at Walmart, and they don't charge me 20 cents a gallon for using my debit card. I said, you really ought to pull in that Valero. You know how women are. She'll fill her car up at a half a tank. So I said, no. I said it's just 2 miles to Walmart. We're going down to Walmart. I don't want to pay them 20 cents extra just for using the card. And so it turned out that there's only a mile worth of gas left in the car. So I coasted into this new hospital driveway there and figured, well, we've had this help thing on AT&T for 10 or 15 years, never called them, so I called them up. The lady says, well, in up to 45 minutes, the guy can bring you 3 gallons of gas and get you, on your way. So in 45 minutes, here comes the guy with a little red can of gas. He had a tiny little funnel he stuck down in the gas tank there. And then while he's taking forever to pour that gas in, I noticed on the bottom of his can it says 2 gallons. But I didn't say nothing. I figured, a gallon of gas would get me all the way down to Walmart. And while we were there, of course, before he got there, people would come up and honk at me because I was in the driveway. So I turned on the ignition switch and so I could get it out of park and pushed it on up out of the driveway so people could get by. And then I left that ignition switch on for a while, which is, not too good for the ignition coils. The little car's got 4 of them, one on every cylinder. So anyway, after he got the thing gassed up, I drove on down towards Walmart, but the wife was in, sort of a nervous state at the time. So considering she mentioned that maybe I should have been in the Valero and all this. So I just went ahead and pulled in the Shell station. I paid $2.15 a gallon instead of $1.95, but got it full. Got an 11-gallon tank. And so I figured, well, I'll get 9 gallons, but I wound up getting something like 9.7 gallons. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute now, that's 9.7 from 11, that only leaves a little over a gallon. So the guy really didn't even have 2 gallons in that can. But anyway, so on the way home, sure enough, one of the ignition coils is damaged and the thing can't accelerate very good, and people are giving me dirty looks and that sort of thing. But I get it on home and put my code reader on it. Sure enough, misfire on cylinder 1. So I'd already replaced the coil on cylinder 2. I found on eBay you could buy them for about 28 bucks a piece. And so I go back to the eBay site and says, well, you can get 4 for 48. And I thought, well, yeah, I should have bought 4 the last time, huh? So anyway, I bought 4 of them. And when it arrived, I put the coil on cylinder 1, and now everything's all great and wonderful. And I've got 3 other new coils so I can make 3 more mistakes or whatever. And I'll probably just go and put 2 of them on the other cylinder and have 1 new one in reserve. But anyway, let's get down to a little joke here, sort of. This is an Irish redneck joke. They got them too. They just hadn't immigrated here yet. Anyway, Mick and Patty, they're a couple of Irish rednecks there. They had the day off, and they went down to the movie and went in. It was an old timey western, and the bad guy's galloping along on a horse chasing bad guys or trying to get away from them or something. And Mick leans over to Patty and says, "Hey, mate," he says, "and I'll bet you a fiver that your man there runs into a tree limb and hits the ground like like a sack of spuds." And Patty says, "Ah," he says, and you're on then, So sure enough, they're watching the movie, and he goes trotting along there and whop, hits a tree limb, falls like a sack of spuds on the ground, And so after the movie's over, they're outside, and Patty's trying offering up the $5 to Mick. Mick says, "Oh," he says, "Patty, for sure, and I've seen the movie before." He says, "Put your money back in your pocket." And Patty says, "Well, yes," he says, "and I've seen it before too." He says, I just couldn't believe that gobshite he'd make the same mistake twice. All right, so I took poor jokes to a new level, international poor jokes. Let's go make a box. Now I'm going to make a box 14 inches by 18 inches to put my rotary table in, and I've run out of room in the garage to store things on shelves, so this may have to sit on the floor or something, and that'll protect it from getting kicked over. And I can pretty much cut everything out of this one piece of leftover plywood, so that's what I plan to do here. I've already got this fence set for 14 inches, and I'll cut the bottom and top in one pass across it. So you crank it up high enough, and sometimes it wants to move because it's on wheels, so you put something under to make it hold still. Alright, stuck a garden hose under it. That ought to hold it. I think it seems pretty solid. So piece will do the sides. I figure this piece right here is good enough for the sides. I can cut the top and bottom out of this. They're going to be 18 inches. So I'll be short and sweet. Like this, make 2 cuts and we're in business. I hate sawdust. That's why I do the sawing outside, so I don't get my garage full of sawdust. Darn stuff gets everywhere, in everything, on everything. It's all over the darn camera now already. All right, I'll be back with the rotary table to make a last check. I bumped into that stupid bicycle with my head going in the garage and coming out. I need double boost here to swear for me properly.
That'll do the job just fine. Room for there, here, in your room there. I'll put a little bit of stuff inside the box to space things out, but at least I know now that my measurements were plenty generous. All right, we got to cut some more. That's what I didn't do. I didn't double check this height. Well, I can double check it right on the ground where it's at. All I have to do is find the tape measure. Be right back. All right, sides of the box will need to be 5.5 inches so I can leave the little keys on the bottom of the rotary table and also keep the little hand wheel from touching the bottom. So I set the fence over there for 5.5, and we'll make some sides. With any luck, I'll have enough wood to finish this. Although I may not. We'll find out. This ought to work out about right, I think. Almost. I'm going to have to find another piece of something. But we'll get there. I'm going to do some calculating. I'll be right back. Okay, 2 pieces, 18 inches for the 2 longer sides. No, I did that a little bit wrong, but we'll pretend I didn't, and we'll set this thing up there and see about the other sides. Okay. Cut the thing actually 17.5 so I could put a piece across the end here. And I'm going to have a much thicker piece to go across the end. So I guess I should have cut them 17 instead of 17.5. I'm going to need just a little bit more room here. Need the next piece to fit right there. And this isn't what I'm going to use, but this is similar. Doing it all in my head instead of writing it out, so yeah, they're just a little bit too long. I need to cut some more off the other end. So while I calculate how much I'm going to cut off the other end, I'll be back. The end pieces are going to be just a little bit thicker than the sides, so go ahead and get them cut down. I'm going to cut out these screw holes, make this a little better. So I guess you can tell by all the different kinds of wood I'm using here. I'm making this out of whatever I've got laying around here. So I'm going to do a little measuring and then we'll be back. Well, that's how the sides are going to be. And after I get the sides glued and screwed and get the bottom screwed on it, well, then I'll hinge the thing and put the top on. I figure this probably isn't going to get the Matthias Wandel maple leaf seal of approval, but it's going to be a box and it probably won't fall apart during my lifetime. So I'll be back in just a minute when I got the glue and such. Alright, I'll just kind of spread that edge there and squeeze a little Gorilla Glue in there, and then we'll put the screws in it. It might work out alright. I just spread it a lot. Maybe I can appeal to April Wilkerson for a Lone Star seal of approval, considering we're both in the same nation of Texas here. You know, who knows, it could happen. I think the screws are going to work out just right. I'll just put a couple to hold things around on each corner. Until I can, that'll hold the corner until I can get things all steady and square, and then I'll come back and add a couple more screws here and there. Sure, there's a lot of that goop sliding out of there. So I've got a glue crisis on my hands. I'll be back in a little bit. I put the rest of the screws in the sides in secret, and now we're ready to put the bottom on it. Although it looks like the top, this is really the bottom. And I'll run some glue, some of that good old Gorilla Glue, all the way around, and then we'll put the bottom on it. Stuff only comes out when you don't want it to. Alright, time to put a couple of screws in there. I'll drill some pilot holes. I don't like to put stuff together without pilot holes. I think it wasn't very tight. Now, I got these particular screws this time because I never used any, and they look pretty interesting. And I like the head; it sinks down in the wood real nice. So that's what I'm using this time. Of course, they come with their own little bit for driving them in. We'll put one right here in the corner while I'm at it. See how easy it is to drive it right down below the surface. Alright. Now I need to straighten everything up. I'll put one off over there. And there's no use in me showing you me putting in one screw after another, so I'll be back in just a little bit. Well, I think that's enough screws to hold the bank vault door shut, so we'll roll it over and start to work on the top. Alright, so we're going to get the hinge on here, and I put a little starting hole in each one of them with a drill bit, and then came along to start the screws. This battery's about dead, and this is the second one. I actually didn't use this for very much of the project because of the dead batteries. This one's in really good. Let's see. Alright. But they gave me exactly enough screws, and the lid opens and closes, and the box has an inside to it. We'll put a hasp on the end of it, and then we'll put the rotary table in it and see where I need to put little shims and such to keep it from moving around. So let me locate the hasp and I'll be back. Well, the lights disappeared as fast as a dollar bill on payday, so this whole job's got to move inside. So we have to go handheld here, and there's room for the crank. This right here stops it from coming forward. Stop from going sideways on either side, and it's up against the back, so it's pretty much the way it's going to be. Don't put any stress on this handle, and I'm glad that this is over because it took a lot out of me doing that. I guess I need to put a little restraining thing on here to go from here down to here so that the lid only opens up a little bit, but I'll do that off camera. Miscalculation. Alright, little modification there. Had to move it over a little. Now we can slam her shut. After the lid shut on it, I just need a little pin to drop in there to keep it securely fastened.